Hello everyone. Hi, welcome on in. I'm Velvet. And today we have a speed build on our hands in The Sims 4, which I'm always excited about, and it's a rundown strip mall. I created this or the exterior for this, for the Rags to Riches Businesses Collab, which we've recently put out there in the world. And I'm excited to show you guys this build because it's very different from what I normally do, and it's always really good to spread your creative wings. So if you haven't been here before, I'm Velvet and I am a big lover of The Sims 4. I'm a YouTuber and a streamer, and I just love to build. It's my very favorite thing to do in The Sims 4, even though I love everything else in The Sims 4, a little bit of gameplay, a little bit of chaos, yes please, but building is the tip top favorite thing for me to do in the game. I normally do a lot of pretty builds, so the fact that I got to do a little bit of a rundown strip mall was a lot of fun. I got to explore new stuff, new items, or items I don't really get to use very often in the game, so it was really cool. I had like a little bit of inspiration for this in the terms of that I went on Pinterest and I looked around at like different strip malls, and I didn't have like a specific one thing kind of inspiration, but it was like several kind of strip malls like mushed together in my brain, and this is what came out. So the big thing for me was just getting that shape right. And for me, a strip mall, if you're not maybe familiar with the term, or you use like a different term, or I don't know, strip mall. Anyway, like a strip mall is kind of like just a strip of shops basically that are collected together and just forms this like tiny mall. It's not like one of the big commercial malls that you see about the place. It's more like a mall that's kind of generated around maybe one particular business. That was kind of the idea, and that's how I was thinking about it in my head, as how when I was thinking about what I wanted to create for this collaboration. That was just kind of what I thought about, as far as, in the sort of more economically downturned areas that you wouldn't necessarily have like a big fancy mall. You might have like more of a couple of like strip malls where, it was like kind of businesses, and you just drive in, park in the parking lot, and you can go in and like run in and do a thing, or there's like a main business that's like the draw card for the area. And it was always in my head that the draw card for this particular strip mall would be a bowling alley, because I thought that would be so fun. And like, you go to the bowling alley and there's like other things that you could do in that area. So in this mall, there's actually a laundromat, there are a couple of retail shops, and there is a thrift store. Perfect, right? And also a pet store. We've got to take care of our pets. So I thought all of those ideas were fantastic, and how that kind of worked for the collaboration was that I created the exterior of the build. So this is what I'm speed building right now. And then on the interior, I had like a whole lot of different simmers joined the collaboration, and they signed up for different areas of the collaboration, where we reimagined the whole of Nordhaven, which is the world that came with the Businesses and Hobbies pack. And yeah, so people signed up for the different sections and signed up for like this community lot. So we had like a few different simmers all coming together and just creating the whole of this beautiful rundown mall, which is just perfect for different styles of world. Like, not everybody has like the perfect pristine worlds, or worlds all in their gameplay. So I thought this might be useful for those people that do like something like it's a little bit more run down. It might be quite good for like a post-apocalyptic kind of world, or something like that. And you can sort of see it's starting to come together as far as the aesthetics of it, because it's just a matter of getting the shape right and making sure I was feeling like the shape was working for what I wanted. But then it's just bringing it all together with the wallpapers and the roofing and the little bits of clutter and debris and everything around there, and the signage and all of that sort of stuff. So it does sort of come together I feel like rapidly, once you've got the shape there, and then you start to bring in all of those little rundown elements like holes in the roof from Life and Death, and that roofing, I think it's from Werewolves, which is a fantastic pack for doing anything rundown. But Life and Death's really good for that as well, because it's got like quite a few little more rundown items in it, like broken little windows and the holes in the roof and stuff like that. So that those two packs really work nicely for building a rundown build. And it was just a case of finding the items, I think, and just really discovering things that I could use in this rundown strip mall that would really make it feel like it was quite realistic. And that was my aim with this particular build, was a little bit of realism. And just thinking about an area that they just don't have the money to maintain. Like, they might care about it, but they just don't have the money to maintain it as they would like. And so, if there is a hole in the parking lot and they've had to dig it up to try and fix it up, then maybe it's just when they've got the time and a little bit of spare cash to afford the materials. So there might be like a little construction area like I'm building right there, where there is a sort of blocked off parking lot that'll stay there for a while. I'm just creating like a little truck delivery zone. So it's just obviously a non-functional thing, but I thought it'd be quite cool to have like a little zone where the trucks could drop off all the all off the supplies and bits and pieces like that. This is me just like slowly working out signage. It was a lot of digging around in debug, which is always an adventure. It's not always the easiest to find things in debug because, it's not officially part of the game as such. So, it's not in the official... You have to use a cheat to get there, right? It's not officially part of the game. It's very accessible, though, and very easy to get via cheats. But, it's not particularly sorted. Even with VelvettB Buy, which is what I use, it's a mod that I use, it does help you organize debug better. So you can divide between live edit and the debug. But even with that, I mean, it's still a lot of sorting through, particularly if you're using all of the packs. You really do need to dig around and find things. So it is a lot of work, a lot of time and a lot of work from that perspective. So yeah, well, it's quite interesting because I don't usually spend, like, I use debug mostly for landscaping, to be honest. That's usually what I use it for. So I don't always use it for items like I did in this particular build. So it was quite interesting from that to really just dig around and debug and just get to know it a little bit better. I do dig around in it for different reasons at different times, but there's always like these little items that you might want for a specific build, and it's just a matter of like finding it. Like, I know it exists, but where is it? And what pack? It's always easier if you remember which pack it's from, because then you can filter it down and it's a lot easier to sort through. But if you don't remember what pack it's from, it's just like, it's a lottery, just like digging on through and just like scroll all the way down. Oh yeah, and I'm adding pipes. Now pipes I don't use a lot of in the game. I've actually been using them a little bit more in the last couple of months than I have in recent times. But yeah, I did use a lot of pipes in this, which I thought was cool. It just, again, I wanted to add things that I felt would be realistic for this mall. So it's things like your pipes, your chain, what is it? It's not chain mail. It's the spiky chain fencing, chain link fencing with the barbed wire on top. That's the word. Barbed wire chain link fencing. That's it. I got there in the end. And like your air conditioner ducts and things like that, and just having like a little bit more of like a maybe messy swatch on the outside. I ended up using, I think, this brick from Businesses and Hobbies, but then I made it quite grimy because you get those grimy decals. I think like For Rent had a whole lot of them, but there's there's quite a few packs that have those little grimy swatches. So using those like quite liberally around the place, just to add the fact that it was built nicely, but it's just run into disrepair. And that was the whole vibe that I really was going for with this build. Was it's nice. It used to be a nice mall, but they've run out of money. It's a poorer area, and it's just run into a bit of disrepair. That's it. That's basically the idea that I had in my head. And I think it's just how you actually bring that to life and create that realism is really the challenge with this sort of build. The life and death windows, with that broken swatch, I thought was just absolutely perfect. So as far as the mall itself, so off the little ground floor area underneath that top tower, that top tower area is just empty, but underneath that, that's going to be where the bowling alley is. And the bowling alley was put together by Pretty Poison Simming, aka Pretty Poison Steph on the gallery, and she did a magnificent job with that bowling alley. I really want to go and actually, this made me really inspired to want to go and build a bowling alley. I've built one before. I don't know if I loved it, like the bowling alley that I built. It was okay, but it just made me want to actually go back and redo another one and just make it cooler. It's like the high school that I built. It's like, it was okay. It just makes me want to go back and rebuild it and do it cooler. But, you know, these are not necessarily small undertakings. Like, particularly the high schools, like, a lot of building. Anyway, so I'm just thinking about this mall as a functioning business. So this is actually a functioning mall, so you can use it as a multi-lot mall. You do need businesses and hobbies to be able to do that, and you set it up as a small business. There's a train going past, choo-choo. As a small business venue. And with the activities in the small business venue, you can actually set up to 5 activities for a mall and make it fully functioning. So I did the same with my luxury mall that is already out on the channel. So if you want to go check that out and create, and just see that basically the polar opposite of this mall. So this is like run down, ragged, and then I've done like a luxury mall, which is really upmarket, and just all these amazing simmers came together and created all these shops and businesses in this luxury mall, and it was just utterly stunning. This is stunning in a whole other way. You know, it's just like really exploring all those rundown things and the beauty of that in the game as well. There is just like this kind of beauty I think to rundown things and how it all sort of shapes up and comes together in a sort of realistic way. It's just, you know, it's a whole other kind of aesthetic, and I think that's really funky. And what else did we have? So we also had a laundromat, so that was by QUEENSKORPIO. It looked absolutely amazing. The retail shops and the bathrooms were also done by Pretty Poison Simming. And so we've got an electronics shop, and we've got a knick-knack store, and as well as like some really funky bathrooms. And then we also have a thrift store that was created by EREZKIGAL, and then there is the pet store that was created by SEEJAMIESIM. So, you know, it's a collaborative undertaking. So, you know, while I built the outside of it, the inside really brought it to life with everybody's contributions to this build. So thank you to those that took part. There is going to be a tour of each of the individual rooms there, so you get to see how that all sort of shaped up and all came together. So we'll do like a little tour of the outside, and then we'll go inside and look at each of the individual rooms, so you can sort of see how all of that came together. This is up on the gallery as well. So if you want to download this and add this to your worlds, then it's up on the gallery under VelvettB. So that has all of the shops contained in it by all of the different creators as well. So it's all very well done, and you can set this up as a separate small business venue to have fun with. So thank you so much for watching. I'll leave you guys to enjoy the tours without me yakking over it, and I will catch you next time around. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already, and it goes a long way to supporting the channel, and it's absolutely free. Imagine that. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time around. Enjoy the tours. Bye.